one. Hide that one. So unmute the iPad or mute the iPad. And didn't mute it on. And turn it. They moved the volume. They don't like that they did that. They changed the volume switch direction.
Yeah, I don't like the position.
Okay. So now we've got that. And now we're going to do. Okay, so that's Kacey. It thinks that's Lead Moon, but it's not. And then we're going to add a camera. Yes. And that's Lead Moon. And does it call you Lead Moon or does it call you Kacey again? It called you Kacey. All right, so we'll fix that. Okay, yeah, that's Lead Moon. Just two of you.
One's bad enough.
Okay, so your viewers cannot see you. Okay, good. Because we didn't want them to see the iPad thing. All right, good. And we're side by side. There we go. So they're still doing the volume thing in the background. Live. All right, I see the split view. I don't see us at HD quality, but I don't know if that's YouTube on the iPad or if that's not sending. Halfway across the world.
You can come back.
and show on stream. And we'll shrink it down a little bit. And all the chat is gone. That's creepy. And it's okay, so the microphone's working. It's calling me Lee again.
Oh no. That's me. There's chat.
Oh, there's chat. And Casey Green. We had 2 cameras going, which was nice, but it didn't do that. Okay, you hear us now, 10 by 10. Perfect. Okay, so to summarize, good afternoon, good evening, good day. Good morning to Anders over there in Sweden. And we're over here in Chattanooga. Chattanooga Charge, you had a graphic, right?
Yeah, he's right up there.
And, oh, it's a magnet.
Yeah.
And on our way over from our East Coast origins for the starts of our trips, both of our cars on FSD decided they were going to go through downtown Atlanta. Lee's was trying to do that the whole time. Mine was telling us that we were going to go through the East Ring, the one on top, and at the last minute when you couldn't make that turn anymore, it said, nope, we're not doing that, and we're going through downtown. And I've learned to generally trust it, because every time I don't, I end up in multi-lane construction, crash, whatever. And so it's driving, I'll just let it drive. So what if it's going to take what I think is going to be an extra 15 to 30 minutes in a multi-hour drive? And Lee said he forced his to go down the West Ring and regretted it. So
Construction. The 4 lanes down to more than 4 lanes, sometimes down to 2. I think it's 4 lanes down to 2 lanes, and horrific traffic. But FSD in sloth mode, in that kind of stop and go, and it kind of edged a few miles an hour, and then come to a stop and then reset. But it did great. It really did great. And so I was, for taking a route I shouldn't have taken, FSD saved the day on that. So very happy with it.
Yeah, got lost in Atlanta. 1,000-mile trip to Tallahassee to Florida. Lost in Atlanta, wound up back in Florida. Not making it up. I believe you, bro. We said it in mute. So we got to meet up with Brian from Futuraza, Raphael from Tesla Tino, Joe Tegmeyer from Joe Tegmeyer, and
Josh
Weston, also from Josh Weston, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and a couple of others, which were awesome. And
bearded Tesla guy. I believe I saw him yesterday, I think, but I'm not sure. I don't consider myself an anybody. I'm just a spectator. And so I didn't introduce myself to anybody but Brian and to Joe.
And Joe, yeah, it's all fun. Yeah, we had a nice discussion with Joe about the Terrafab, and he got some photos, and he's seeing some stuff in addition to what was released during the presentation that we haven't seen yet. So Slimy told us on the X chat, which is on speaker today because I didn't bring my whole kit, that the event also had a really long post by Elon. So we're going to find, well, you might just read it for bedtime, but I'm going to find a way to probably have it read to me or just read it on a supercharger trip or something, and catch what we missed.
And you can tell from earlier, we're at the mercy of hotel Wi-Fi and poor cell reception. So
yes,
so it's been iffy with, at least with me yesterday and today.
Yeah, we did. We tried back and forth between different systems. So we had 2 cameras going, and it was really cool, looking professional, but iPad don't care about your feelings. And the particular Windows computer I had with me today said, you're on vacation. I'm gonna be on vacation too. And and so every time we added the second camera, it would freeze, which is not supposed to do, but it did. So we're gonna have a big commercial. If I could put it to YouTube, I would. YouTube put him in timeout. I love it. He's got the wrench, so he can change all of that. We, like I said, we got to see a bunch of people, and today was the off-road day. So we went through, we met up with everybody, we did everything. They did the safety brief, and then at the safety brief, Lee's car is a Juniper. It's what, 4 months old?
It's
5.
It's longer than that. It's
new.
9. No, it's 9 months old.
9 months
but
old.
It's new. It's a brand new new build and new on the line, rear-wheel drive,
Yeah.
Juniper.
Yeah, and he's waiting for the smooth braking chauffeur update.
Yeah.
But that's how new it is. You can still get all the stuff they make, which is cool. And um, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so mine is Unicorn. I got a whole bunch of stuff you can't get anymore, and then if something were to happen, we try to get it replaced. It probably wouldn't happen until after the demise of SNX, after their full-time retirement, the season finale, series finale. Yeah, there you go. They'd be done forever. And well, like I said, mine's a Unicorn. It may be legacy, but it is a Unicorn. It's got stuff that you can't get today.
And it looks great, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I saw it today, and inside and out looks great, and love the vertical screen.
Thanks. Yeah, we wiped it down for a little bit right before we met up with everybody, just because it was covered in pollen. It's covered in pollen again. What can you do? But I got the bird guts off, and not guts, bird droppings and bug guts off it, and bird guts. I've had that happen once with my Prius. There was a seagull. I was in Florida, driving between Gainesville and like Fort Lauderdale, Tallahassee, and it was just a nice stretch of country road before we got to one of the highways. And the seagull come flying alongside. I'm like, oh, cool, the wildlife. And he decided to cut across some feathers.
Oh.
I was like, oh, well, that's. I mean, you look me in the eye. That same car over in Columbia, South Carolina, had a squirrel. Look at me on the curb. Look at me. Look back at a tree, and then jumps, and then armadillo sounds. I was like, oh. I was nothing I could do to stop for that. And so that my Prius had a disaster ratio like a cat. They put price for everything in October, including some kind of gift bag. I guess it's a donation now. Hey, we own nothing. We rent everything and be happy. Pollen, yellow snow yesterday. Oh, snow yesterday. Oh, yeah, real snow yesterday. Okay. But that's the weirdness about it. We had 90-degree days, and it was like almost 39 degrees Fahrenheit for all of you guys, because that would be really hot, both of those in centigrade, and 39 degrees at night in Atlanta and where we came from. And 39 is not that far from freezing.
Yeah, same here. It was cold. I brought a windbreaker with me, knowing that it's going to be warm here, and it was. It was a little bit too hot for me during the event yesterday. I was out in the sun a bit, and I don't go well with the sun a lot. I was a computer room engineer for a long time, so I rarely saw the sun. Anyway, but Model Y. Got in the car, used it as a refrigerator, and went back out in the crowd, and came back to the hotel and went back out, and it was great. But the event was great, and today was beautiful in the morning. Absolutely cool, beautiful day. So enjoyed seeing all the Cybertrucks and everybody else with their other.
Definitely, there were a lot of Teslas there. We saw, you said 101 was the count that Brian had?
Yes, according to Brian, who was according to somebody else at the event, they had, at the time yesterday, they were up to 101 Cybertrucks, which I believe was going to be a record.
That sounds pretty good, because we rolled in like 10:30 to the event space and at night, so 22:30, and there was a Cybertruck food truck. They were doing light shows. I want to say there were a good 30 to 40 cars still in the space. They were leaving, but they were still in there, and it was looking fun. Nobody knew who I was, and they were trying to get out of there, so nobody engaged.
Yeah.
But once we hit the superchargers, they're like, oh, hey, and so it's like, okay, they were either just tired or they were we call it less than social.
Yes. Yeah.
Not introverts, but not full on extroverts.
I'm introvert.
Right. Did Lee and Kacey make it to the Michigan Cent? We saw people from Pensacola.
Was that now when I was there yesterday, and I walked around and I saw the Michigan booth there, but I just kind of walked around and nodded to people and smiled and just looked at everything. It was me in the candy store, right?
Yeah. And then so for me, like I said, we arrived late, couldn't see anything but food truck and light bars.
And by the way, I got up at 3 something yesterday morning, got on the road at 5:15, 5:20,
Yeah.
drove straight through, got to the hotel, got an early check-in, thank you,
Nice.
and then went to the venue. And so I did not go back in the evening. I wanted to, but my body said nope, and I fell asleep.
He fell fast asleep. I sent a couple messages. I was like, oh, I guess he's asleep. I'm gonna
Yeah.
stop blowing up his phone while he's sleeping. Anders, yeah, so you were saying good evening to you in the intro. I don't know if it was muted when I said it or not, but that's my pops. I will call him back in a little bit. Yeah, so good evening. And
And there were great cut wraps on the vehicles.
Yeah.
And the camper, the Cybertruck with the camper add-ons, which I'd seen when you're the Tesla guy.
Yeah.
And they went to Alaska or wherever, where they had that. Those were
top.
very cool camper top
Yeah.
thing. They had a variety of those, and they had them this morning at the.
Raphael had one. Right?
Yeah. They were cool. I thought that's cool.
Yeah. Simon Pollock in charge of the light show said I could park my little Dodge in the middle of the light show and just manually put on my headlights and blinkers. Yeah, we saw a couple of the ones that had special accommodations for their lights. Not like that, but just like my old bird, where it has a light show, but it cannot be programmed.
And I've downloaded the light show
Yeah.
stuff from GitHub, and I tinkered with it to try and do a hello world kind of a test thing, and I got because it didn't know the juniper, and it's like I want to do all the cool stuff.
You did too early, yeah.
So I did a thing, and I never said I've got music for it.
There you go.
But I just haven't done that. That's on my bucket list.
Yeah.
To do that.
Yeah, probably the next time you see a push, it'd be ready.
Yeah.
Or at least closer to ready.
Yeah.
And we saw 2 Rivians charging.
Yes.
And a Mach-E.
Mm-hmm.
And then we saw this gas thing when we were leaving. It was a Volkswagen of some sort.
Yeah.
I don't know why she was there. It was very clear what it was. It was a 10 stall.
Yeah, I forgot with solar, which was cool.
Yeah, the solar was really nice. Yeah.
I don't remember how many stalls it was. I didn't need to charge right then. I didn't want to take up for the folks in the Cybertrucks that were going on the off road.
Right.
So I wouldn't charge there. I had plenty of charge anyway.
Yeah. And we charged several times all over the place, MrSupercharger.com. And it all went well. There was a V2 mixed in there I didn't expect. Nothing was wrong with it. It's just
V2.
Right, I prefer not to. Yes, it's very well matched to the speeds of my car. But my car can actually do a little bit more than 150. And so being capped at 150 is... it adds a couple of moments to the charge. The car can do 180 for a little bit, and it does do it if you're on a V3 that's not just been immediately slammed, but usually it's not that busy. And even then, if somebody has been charging for a minute, by the time they go to unplug, the liquid cooling in the V3s, it takes care of it, yeah. But the V4 pedestals, they're nice because they can handle my car all day long, because they're made to handle the full megawatt. And we had one of the first stops we had on a highway was a V3 Plus. So it had the V4 pedestals, but it had the V3 back end. And so it could do 325 on a Cybertruck and 250 for everybody else, or 180 for me. But it's consistent with it because the handle is cooled and the cable's cooled.
Well, I was going to ask, what's the charge curve like? Because if it's not like my car, oh yeah, 250, boom,
Yes.
down to whatever it's
Yes.
going to be. You're pretty quick.
Yeah.
But if it's because 180, I had a Bolt. Anything is great.
Yeah,
But
50 kilowatts
but yeah,
is low.
180. If it peaks and it gradually slopes down, then that's still, to me, that's a good speed.
Yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's quick.
But you got a big battery, right?
I do have a big battery, but what I don't have is any cooling on the connection from the charge port to the battery.
Battery, so that's all just ambient.
Yeah, and I don't know that all of them do, but I know some of them do, and I know that on most of the new ones, it's just a solid piece of metal instead of a bunch of really high grade cables like on mine, and so that part can heat up, and that will slow us down as well. But it does tend to just do a little better with the V4 handles, and you can tell which one you're at, because if you're at if it's got the shorter with the red donut and it's kind of nice, easy to work cable, that's a V3. It's thinner. If it's at that same style station, but it's got that aluminum anklet at the top of the connector, yeah, and it's got that same fat connection that you've got on the V4 stations, then that's a V2 or V2 with some upgrades. That happens sometimes. And the V4 and up, they are the taller ones, like the megacharger, and they've got the 1,000-volt handles on them. So they've got the little like the duck lips on the on the connectors, and then they have a more robust cooling solution than was available on the V3s, and so they're more consistent even on those older cars like mine. Now, if you had like a 70D or early 90D where they were just learning how to do what they were doing with the 90, it might not make a difference for you, but even so, it's just to be more consistent than a V2. Even though you won't see any difference between a V3 and a V4 with some of those limited cars.
And because I didn't keep up with the details back then, your 180 sounds like gold to me. You know, for that car, it just seems that's impressive to me. That's impressive. So, because I don't know that the Juniper would hold that for a long time. My rear wheel drive Model 3, my 2024, that had the hidden big battery in it. That one was before I got the energy boost that unlocked the whole battery, and it made it today's charge curve. It would go up, and I think it did 100, and Brandon Flash did a lot with that charge curve, and it stayed flat and consistent for a long way. And so it may not have been as fast, but it's so consistent, you knew what you're going to get. And you could just arrive and charge pretty much at any at any state of charge. We're going to get something consistent. So
that's nice.
So
on my little legacy model, what you have is if you arrive with anything less than 20%, it'll charge very fast for less than 20%. But because the state of charge is so low, it's holding itself back. And then by the time it hits 20%, it's overheated. So you'll never see, I don't think even 150 if you arrive in that state. But if you arrive at like 19 to 22, you'll see that 180 for a little bit, and then you'll see it go down 160, 150, hold 150 for a while, 125, 100. And then we, depending on our schedule, we'll usually unplug at like 70 or 80 kilowatts and just hit the next one. Unless we're in a sparse part of the country, and then we'll just do whatever the car says, because nobody wants a tow to the charger.
And on my original route plan was going from the coast of Georgia diagonally across the state, so it's kind of the longest route you could make. And stopping at McDonough, Georgia, just south of Atlanta, I think I was going to arrive originally at about 12% and needed a 15-minute charge, and leaving it at 100%. I actually left about 99%. But on the way, it was fun, but it was cold, and I was running some heat, and heated seats and some steering wheel, but it kept dropping down. It's like, oh, this is great, because I'd arrive at 5% at McDonough and charge, not knowing, as long as I didn't have to wait. And so, but I needed to stop and get something to drink and to stretch a little bit, and so I charged elsewhere and at a high state of charge, and then, but I did spend about 15 minutes at the McDonough and overcharged there, because again, not sure what I was going to arrive here at 10%, but I thought every other Tesla is going to be here and I would be in line, or didn't want to hold anybody up, so I just charged ahead of time.
Our timing made that a little easier to deal with the contention. And
I didn't have a problem. I never waited for a charge. The few times I've opportunity supercharged around the hotel and by the venue, and so it was all easy.
Yeah.
to do it. It was easier than I thought it was going to be for the venue.
Oh, yeah.
That was going on.
Well, there's like 3 superchargers within.
Yeah, there's one
within
right
that-
down, the one right
There's
down.
one here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah.
So,
And then Scott says, Highlander's asking if you saw any of the old roadsters there.
of the,
Old roadsters, the classic.
no, there were no, I was looking
Yeah.
to see what would show up.
They run the off-road course.
Yeah. They were very specific about about the rules for taking off, who should go, who might want to go, and who should not go.
Oh, I think we talked about that on mute. So you went to the most of the program yesterday, and I went to the closeout, and it wasn't like part of the event. They were literally packing up, and then today they went over. Today's event was the off-road course, and
Cars and coffee and the off-road.
yeah, cars and coffee, then the off-road, and then they were explaining, here's the easy course, the hard course, Model X, S, Y, XSY. Yeah, those 3 should not do the course that they were explaining, and they have the inside track of that course that they could handle. If you tried the outside course, you'd battery to ground, like physically
Yeah.
contact, not battery electrically to ground, which is also not good. So upon hearing that, and like I had the kids in the car, and like I said, my car's a unicorn, Lee's car is new. We weren't really interested in doing that. Like we could have gone on a ride along, but didn't want to take somebody else's spot in my case, and have to leave the kids somewhere, and that's not fun for them. They came to go to the park.
When they do a track day, I'm in.
We enjoy the track days. So we took ours to the NCC track, which is now the out of spec track, and
That's on my bucket list to go there one
yeah,
day.
it's fun.
Yeah.
And so just keep to the course instructions, and you won't end up off of the track. And if you end up off of the track, you could total the car. So don't do that. So do follow the instructions. And
And I used to, back in my engineering days in Florida, I used to do with Honeywell and some other tech companies. We used to set up some of the big, on the weekends, the big parking lots and do the cones. And I do the autocross, and thoroughly enjoyed doing that.
yeah.
So,
And there's still plenty of room to do some fun stuff out there. It's just when they say do this but not that, pay attention.
yeah.
Ask some folks who didn't pay attention and or paid attention and did what they wanted to do. And
In my Nissan 300ZX back in that day, I took it in. I took it into the service place for Nissan and said, I think I need new brakes. My discs were like this, but there was air in because I'd used it so much that I
Yes.
had 2
oh man,
Z cars, and that was the one I autocrossed the most, and it was not roadworthy for. But they said, yeah, you need complete. Anyways, but I had a lot of fun. That was the point. I had a lot of fun with
Definitely.
it. Would do it again in the Tesla.
definitely. My friend Brian Roby just released the video this morning about charging and the battery degradation on his 5-year-old car. Yeah, mine was pretty flat before they changed.
I have a lot.
You have a lot.
I actually have a lot. For what I think, I've got 9,000, probably closer to 10,000 after this trip,
Yeah.
and I've had it for 9 months, and it's shown about 6%, which is in line.
Yeah.
But I also, at the beginning, I supercharged it a lot because of my mom's
Yeah,
health
yeah,
issues,
yeah.
and I had to be ready to
All the way
go, and we evacuate for hurricanes, things like that.
Yeah.
So I was kind of at the ready.
I wonder if that's why Tesla released recently new guidance, and on the Model Y specifically, they said don't charge it all the time.
Yeah.
Well, do charge, always be charging, but don't
Yeah.
always be supercharging.
And I level 1. I do a 12 amp charge, and
Wow. Yeah.
and that's what I have at home, and I haven't gotten the Tesla charger, the high powered
Yeah,
level
yeah.
2. I don't have that yet.
I wonder if that the new chemistry is why they said that, or if it's just they wanted to have a delineation like.
It's not it's not disagreeable. It's a long range rear wheel drive,
Yeah.
so it started with 357. I'm at 336 or 337 indicated.
Right.
So I'm happy at 300 or over. And at highway speed, at Mad Max speeds, that's probably 290 to 300
That's not bad.
on the current.
Yeah. I suspect also maybe they might have more people on the new Model Ys, not this guy, but new to EV customers
Yeah.
who are charging to 100% on a supercharger,
Yeah.
which also is not good. So,
And before I trip, like because I have level 1 at home, I would charge to 80%. Oh, I've got 2 supercharger
Yeah.
stations and then a brand new Iona. And they're all within like 6 miles of the house.
Yeah.
And so I always would charge to 80% there and then go home, and I'd do that in the evening and then go home and let it go whatever percent it was.
them to rest,
And
yeah. The 12
for
minutes.
this trip, originally, I was going to leave at 80% and go, I'm older now and I'm braver, or maybe less smart than before, but I knew I could do it. I knew I could go on and hit the supercharger network, and I really thought about it. I decided, nah, just go ahead and take it to 100.
Yeah, we used to boost it before every trip, and now we really only do that in the
You don't have to.
in the wintertime. Yeah, we left it 75%.
Yeah, yeah.
And the first stop wasn't for over an hour, so
Yeah, I could have stopped in Dublin
Yeah.
and gotten a boost charge, and then I'd probably been at Daresville at the Buc-ee's at Daresville and made it here with plenty. Yeah, had I chosen to go that route, but again, I'm old and not so brilliant anymore.
a friend of mine hails from Dublin, and he has some stories about getting charging to charge there, and it finally has been.
That's actually where I
Easier.
stopped.
Yeah.
I did stop there
Yeah.
because I wanted to get something to drink, and then when I got there, I went, well, I've got bottled waters in the car, and I did it, and I did not like it was V3s, old V3s, and the way you got it, they were
In the back.
yeah,
I don't like them in the back.
yeah, and so it was so narrow, and
Yeah, that's why they're always
I was
tight.
there if I was there for 5 minutes, I'd be surprised because I had enough charge, and when I looked around because it's so early in the morning, there was nothing really open that I wanted to go. Anyway, so I just went, I'll go on to McDonough.
There you go.
Yeah.
If you're still in Chattanooga, I highly recommend the Train Museum. Yep, the Train Museum and the aquarium. I've heard good stuff about.
Yeah, I heard good stuff about the aquarium as well.
Yeah. My Dodge minivan could have handled the course no problem. As Raph was saying that he thought that only a Cybertruck and actual off-road vehicles could do the part that he designated as Cybertruck. So like if you had like a Jeep or a Hummer, electric Hummer even, anything like that with the extra high ground clearance and the all-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, climb mode.
Yeah, and he mentioned something about that you couldn't use just like all
the tires.
seasons.
Yeah, you couldn't use all-season
even on the
tires.
Cybertruck, you had to have the good ones because it had been raining.
Yeah.
And it was still boggy and slippy and all that. He said you get stuck.
Yeah.
Or you bottom out the battery.
Yep, and then air down, and then
Yeah.
But some people forgot their air pumps, so he said if you have a choice between air down and never air up, or go extra slow, since you're then going to drive this vehicle home, drive extra slow because if you're counting on gas station air, there could be like 8 of them broken. It's just not. If you don't bring your own air, it's best to not let air out of your tires and then try to get on the highway.
And I have in my Model Y, in the back I've got, can we say a brand name? Huh? Can I say a brand name? I have a Fantic.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. I use
and it's great for what I need, and so it's in the back, and it was pretty charged up when I left. But I don't know what it might get one Cybertruck tire.
Maybe. Yeah, I got a Milwaukee from when we were doing when we were doing the Prius challenges, and it can do probably about 3 cars if you get it fresh, and then and we're not talking just like top ups, but like deep. But it's getting older, so I usually charge it after every other top up of my car, just in case, because I want to make sure it's ready for me.
And I have a nice air compressor in the garage at home, but I don't use it. Now I got that because I don't have to drag an extension cord and go all the way. So it makes it easy. That's why I got it. Then I got it for trips as well. But it's having a portable one is magic for me.
It is. Dodge minivan thinks she's a Ram truck. What do you expect? She's a girl. The steel threads sticking out of my front tires would have given plenty of traction. And now you know why I wanted to get tires for mine before I made a trip. Not that the threads were coming out, but when the right rear gave way while towing the U-Haul trailer, the threads were showing at that point, and yeah, it's not fun. So while I said meet on the tires, I was like, yeah, let's. He says we have a month left. Let's just order the tires, get them with the insurance. We do the TireRack.com, not a sponsor, not sponsored at all. Because I like the 2-year warranty, so the price is about on par with everywhere I look. They were a little more expensive this time than or a little less. They were in the range of what my local shop offered, but they don't offer. They have a warranty, but they don't offer it in the same way that Tire Rack does. And since I'm always all over the country, I didn't want to get tied to a region.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there were ways around that, but I didn't want to have to deal with that either.
Yeah.
Just joking, but it wouldn't have been a joke. And so I got the new tires on, and then I brought the links with me, but the place I went didn't have an alignment rack, so they couldn't do the links. And so the guy that my former mobile tech offered or suggested is going to be the one that I get to put the links on, so that these new tires will last a little bit and not need to be changed at this time next year, because that camber that comes on the S and the X is strong, and so the wheels look like like a little letter A, not a little letter, but a little capital letter A. And I was wondering what brand Tesla's tires are using. Let's give a good shout out to our buddy Smoke. Yeah, Smoke would know what tires several of the models are using. It's going to help me with my YouTube channel. Yeah, I think my car came with Continentals. I don't remember, but it was Continental, like Sure Contact or something like that. And they have another one as standard now. Some of them came with Pirellis.
That's what I have on mine.
Yeah, and the others came with Michelin's. My S came with.
I think my 3 and my first Y might have had
Yeah.
Michelin. I can't remember now.
Yeah, so my S came with Michelin premises, MX4s, MXV4s. They were nice, but they were pricey. But they were nice, and they had the foam too. They had good gas mileage. They had good range, and I probably wouldn't do it again, just because of the price. And what I ended up doing is I am on the Continental. Was it not the Continental? It might be Continental Pro 2, the Cross Climate 2s, and they're not very fun when you first put them on, because they sound like a truck. They've got this weird, like, this is a repeating, not really crosshatch. This is like an arrowhead all the way through, and even to the point where their tread indicators are done differently.
Wow.
But the thing that's good about them is any surprise snows, they're snow ice tires, so they can handle it, and they're better at wet conditions than stock. So even when I'm not in snowy conditions, if I put them on 100 degrees in Florida or Texas, I don't feel bad about you're running snow tires in Texas, dude. And not to mention the first time I drove through Texas, it snowed.
Yeah.
Like, what is this sorcery? I came to Texas.
Back on my 300ZXs, I ran Falcons because we had all that torrential rain every afternoon at 3
Yes.
o'clock, right around going home time.
Yeah.
And I had Goodyears on it before and was impressed by the Falcons' wet performance, not by the dry performance,
Yeah.
much the Goodyear, but where it mattered for daily driving, the Falcons did well back in the day.
Yeah. Highlander says, I have Continentals on the front right now, and I can't stand them. But they're high mileage rated tires. Very poor ride. The ones I really didn't care for were the stock tires for the Gen 1 Volts. They were Goodyear somethings. They were the worst. Even if you raise the tire pressure, they would still just chunk off like a black version of that pink eraser in school. And if you had it at the lower pressure that they recommended, it would just do that, even more of that, but faster. And then didn't leave a good feeling for me. So I changed them out to anything and everything else until I found something I liked, and then I got rid of the whole car. So
Yeah,
it wasn't because of the tires, but I didn't like the tires either.
Yeah, with Tempest temperature swings we've been having.
Yeah.
So now my car's probably sitting out there at 46 PSI, where it was 42, it was all set,
Yeah.
and then it warmed up, and then it'll drop back down. Anyway, so I can't keep them exactly where I want, but that's normal for weather
Yeah.
shifting.
Dad worked at Sears in the tire battery shop for almost 30 years. He explained to me why Michelin's are the best. But I don't know, excuse me, if that works on the EVs. I'd say whatever he liked about them is probably still there. And there are some now EV specific brands. I haven't tried them personally. I've seen some folks who were sponsored by them. So, take that with a grain of salt. They enjoyed theirs, but
And I've traded my cars in during tire rotation.
Right.
So first tire rotation, boom, 2 of them are gone.
Yeah.
And so now I've made it through a tire rotation with this one, though I did take my title with me when I went.
Mr. Moon, we've noticed that 3 of your pixels out of the 280 of them are missing in your high beam ultra adaptive headlight system. Oh, just trade the whole car.
Yes.
You can fix it on your problem. It's not. I don't want to wait for the assembly. He's not that bad.
No, I was the new shiny toy was
New shiny toy.
and my mom had mobility issues. That was the big thing.
New shiny toy. Make it easy for mom to get in and out and enjoy their time together while she had it.
Yeah.
And a certain frugality to it. This man paid like next to nothing for 3 cars over what, 3 years? 2 years?
2 years, 2024, 25, 26. Yeah, so now it's from last year when I got it. So I have not I didn't finance. I paid for them, and I have not paid for 3 cars. I haven't paid the full price for the Model 3, the cheapest one.
Wow.
So I paid less than that.
And that was what, 1 Model 3 and 2 Model Ys?
2 Model Ys and a Model 3.
And a Bolt.
And I had a Bolt, which I trade, and the trades were good. That first Model Y that I had, I traded for the 3, the Highland 3. I had it for 3 months or so, and I got a good trade, a really good, better than I thought Tesla was going to give me.
Yeah.
And I took advantage of the tax credit.
Oh, there you go. That's gone now.
And so that's all gone, and it was gone when I got. It wasn't in effect when I got the Bolt, so I regretted not getting that.
Yeah.
I wanted it, but I regretted not being in the window for when I was buying it. And so I took advantage of all those tax credits. So I bought 3 with the tax credit, so which helped a lot. And
I was telling my wife that's part of why Atlanta has so many EVs still to this day is they got started with the Leaf. They had the incentives, and then they added the HOV, kind of like California. And then they had some of the companies would get you a company car. Basically, they would just pay your $200 lease from Nissan, and you could buy it out or do whatever at the end of it. And some of them would even pay for the fueling of your company car, and they would just give you a quarter a day for your electricity and call it even. And some of them stuck around. Some of them got traded in on other stuff because GM's own data. We talked about this on one of the Tesla Live shows, maybe one of the Expresses. GM's data showed 78% retention with did we publish that one yet?
I heard that. I was watching. It was on.
Okay.
It was on one of the shows. I don't remember which one. Where was that? They were going to stay in an EV or a Conquest.
Yes.
Was it the Conquest? 78%. It was very high.
Yeah. But but their Conquest being like still EV.
From different.
Yeah.
This was tracking this to stay in an EV was 70, which is high. To me, it seemed low.
We all thought it was a little bit low, but for GM, looking at everybody, they also have a bunch of people who I pointed out that probably got the wrong EV for their needs. A lot of people want to do one car for everything, which there's nothing wrong with that desire.
That's what I do.
It's not always the most practical. I do it too, one car. Sometimes you want to get a car that's like 85%, and then you can rent a pickup truck for the 2-3 trips you need a year or ever in the lifetime of the car. Some people only need a pickup truck for 3 trips per term, per vehicle. And $19.99 a day or $19.99 an hour or whatever, it's probably gone up now because inflation, but at the hardware store.
It's like, I understand your use for a Cybertruck.
Yeah.
My use is to have fun with it. It's
Right,
cool,
right.
But I don't have a practical need for it for what I do. But I love to have it. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's not gonna, We talked about the guy who was who got a second job with his BMW.
Yes.
He's not going to be out there. If he does Uber, it'll be for fun. It won't be because he needs it to help
Yeah.
pay for the Cybertruck.
Yeah, I'm frugal with my money. My parents taught me that.
Yeah.
When I was only one of 3 boys that took that to heart, apparently.
Oh,
and
yeah, man.
and so I look at my needs. I research everything, and I know when I bought my first brand new car, a 1982 Honda Prelude, I went with the credit union at the Space Center,
Yeah.
and I wanted a $10,000 loan. That's about the cost of a Prelude, and I went in, and they when they made the deal, got it optioned the way I wanted it was $10,024.42. I remember that exact price in 1982, and I refused the deal for $24.42. I said no. I'm
The manager said,
and he
just take a
said,
car.
"Do you have $25 on you?" I said, "Yeah," because you didn't put down a deposit. And to make matters more interesting, I was 10th on a list of 20 waiting for this car. It's the last Prelude they got in before they went to the second generation. Yeah. So yes. And so but I wanted that original Prelude. It's a college dream car of mine. And so I got that thing, and I should not have gotten it because I was unstacking the deck for myself, but they did. They sold it to me. I was adamant. I happened to call when it arrived on the truck.
Nice.
And they said, and it was the exact color, everything.
Nice.
And so I went up, work said, go get it. And so I went over there and made the deal.
Yeah, just be back by lunchtime.
Yep.
Or about the girls there Sunday ice cream yet? I think they had French fries a couple times today, and they got to enjoy the playground. We went to community playground. They really enjoyed. We were gonna. Moto was upset that we didn't get her to the park. We got her to the park, but it was dark, so there was nothing she could do at the park. And so today took her to a playground. Which, when kids say the park, they mean the playground.
And there's an indoor pool here at this hotel, and there are a lot of kids. There have been kids playing into the evening. I've heard them down the hall.
Nice.
And so I think they're with kids.
That's cool.
Enjoying
Enjoying
that. Yeah.
I think these are one of my brothers because they must have been raised by my mother. Her dad was poor, came to America from Scotland. My mother never spent a penny, but she went to Europe all the time. Nice.
Yeah, and when we were I'll just say it, we were a poor family growing up in rural Georgia, but my dad had a good job, my mom got it, and so that became a thing, and we were able to do stuff. And I had a younger brother who was very ill from a very young age, and that took a lot. And so we were just raised that way. I had grandmothers that lived in the area that lived through the Great Depression.
Oh man!
And so
they were teaching stuff too.
Yeah, and my grandfathers on both sides had passed away before I was born and right after I was born. So they really instilled that. I really think they instilled it, and I took that to heart. And I tell folks, if it's something you want and can afford it, and I mean really afford it, and not just go outside your means to do it.
Yeah.
Then,
And I don't think there's anything wrong with driving Uber. I mean, it's like if that's your job, it's your job. It's fine. But the idea that the guy with the BMW was at the mercy of the market, like he was relying on the premium plan. He was relying on like my car qualified for Uber Black, and I was like, hey, this is fun. It helps reduce the cost of it. And so I did that with the Model S. And but if I didn't do it, it didn't end everything. And then all of a sudden, they removed the premium program from the region I was in. So, or not, they got rid of the higher tier, and it was just premium. And then even then, they started to wrap it in with like minivans and stuff. I was like, this isn't worth wondering if somebody's gonna throw up in my car.
Yeah.
And again, if it was like supplemental or whatever, that's fine. But like, we're not judging you or anything. We're just saying that we're recommending not to put yourself in that hardship if you really want the BMW and if you're that guy in the story, and there's got to be another way to make that happen without living in the car and having that stress and then depreciating it way faster because you put on some serious miles with Uber.
And my thing is, I've been fortunate. I research an automobile before I ever buy it, and I look at stuff that's nice, 300, Prelude, things that are in the nice realm, and I research it enough, and I make sure I've got the money to cover it if I need to.
Yeah.
And I'd finance in my younger days, but I I've lost my train of thought for a moment. But my older brother, not long ago, has a decent car, but was thinking about getting something. He was thinking about a Maverick hybrid,
Oh, nice.
or maybe an electric vehicle.
I've done that one.
And so he was talking about it, but he didn't think he'd get a good trade-in on his current car. I said, the best car you have is one that's running and is still in good shape.
Yeah.
And why do it if you didn't need it? You didn't need it.
Right.
So yeah, there's no, and because I researched, to come back to the point, the reason I was researching thing, I had a Honda CRZ. I drove it for 12 years.
Yeah, from that.
Loved it. I had a couple of Nissan 300ZXs, one of which I kept for 15 or 16 years and loved that car.
Yeah.
And I'll keep a car for a long time because I bought something I enjoyed and was maybe not practical in the 300ZX realm, but reliable. But I've enjoyed some good cars and had long runs with them and have gone quite a while without car payments, and that's been good.
We did a little bit of stretch with this X, but it's now been the longest we've had the car. It's 8 years old this year, but it came with stuff that mitigated some of its expense. It came with the charging for life. It came with the connectivity for life. It had that crazy warranty, the 8 years unlimited miles, almost out. They sent me a little notice when I logged in at one point. They're like, "Hey, your warranty has got a couple more months, just so you know." But they're pretty good. Like, if you let them know whatever's wrong before,
They'll cover it
yeah,
after.
exactly. Because they know it takes some time to get in for schedule, and for them to get the parts, they won't hold that against you. Some places. So what you do in those places, you find out ahead of time what the policy is. If it's reported in time, blah blah blah, you're good. Just like Tesla, fine. If they're like, oh no, you crossed the threshold, what you want to do is, as you're approaching the miles, you park that car, and you wait for them to get the parts.
Yep.
And you might even, depending on how close you cut it, you might even have to tow that car into the dealer to keep it there.
Under the mileage.
Yes, just to Ferris Bueller it, but since it's driving in reverse,
It doesn't do you.
yeah. Oh, hey, Mr. Gray, why did you reverse into the showroom here? I had this rattle. I need you guys to take a look at it. But why'd you reverse? Don't worry about that. You just fix the rattle. And yeah, so that was the Chattanooga Charge. We enjoyed it. Lee got to see a lot of the talk. He saw Brian's talk.
Yeah.
Please don't sell that X without contacting me first, please. Find a way. The unlimited charging will pay for itself, and my apartment comes. The problem is, though, that mine isn't the oldest of the X's. So the minute that the title changes, they're going to see that, and they're going to take it back.
Yeah.
But it will keep the FSD, which is now another reason for me to keep it, and another reason to not take it off-roading, because if something were to happen and I were to somehow try to find a replacement for it, and insurance isn't going to care, they're not going to pay my FSD bill for the rest of my life. So I have to wait till I keep saying, I had to wait till Elon hits his bonus, or they offer the transfer. There will be some more chances to maybe if you transfer it, they'll just call it a lifetime subscription, or because he just needs it to show subscriptions to end users. So I have a feeling that the price of that will change. He already said the price going up, but he thinks it's going up. I think it's going to do a little bit of this.
Yeah.
And because I was one of the last ones to buy when the price is only going up, and it did go up for a little bit, and then it stalled for a bit, and cratered, and then it went up even higher.
Yeah.
And now it's a rental only, so it's like I don't want to have to get into all of that, and so
I almost pulled the trigger and bought it just a few months ago.
Yeah.
But because in my not very rural, but in a rural area, it does things that I don't appreciate.
Yeah.
And that makes me aggravated on a drive. It makes me, because I'm having a great drive.
Yes.
It's like sudden shock.
Yeah.
Sudden shock, and it makes me so aggravated because I report it so many times that are y'all paying attention, or are you going to do something about it?
Right.
So I decided at the last minute before the deadline. I almost did it.
Yeah.
I thought, don't do it.
Yeah,
Just subscribe to it, because I trade cars.
That part, right? Yeah. So he trades cars enough that I feel they won't give him enough value for it. They say they do. They have no way to show us that they do it.
They took the energy boost off my car. I tracked my car at the Tesla used car
Yeah.
website, and so I went, "Oh, that's my car. There's my VIN number."
Yeah.
And it had no energy boost on it after I'd paid for it.
Right.
And
They're selling again.
and they're selling again without the energy boost.
And they
Now
can
they
do the upgrade
probably
again.
yeah I have no idea. They gave me a great price. I ended up paying $3,000 out the door for my
Nice.
Model 3, brand new Model 3. So it was all worth it. But
Yeah.
but the next person, I think they got cheated a little bit on that.
Right, because you'd already paid it, so it should
It should
stay
have
unlocked.
gone with the car.
Yeah, it should
should
stay
have gone
unlocked,
with the
yeah.
car, but it was not apparent that it was on the car.
Because even if you bought that IBM with the oversubscription and they already had the stuff in there and they had the golden screwdriver they did over the phone or sent the guy down to touch a button or whatever, and they unlocked your RAM, unlocked your processor, unlocked your storage, whatever they did back in the day. If his company then went and sold that mainframe, it still had the unlock. It didn't revert unless it was a lease. If it was a lease, then they just destroyed it. But that was different. So it doesn't jive well with the sustainable abundance or he keeps changing it, but just
Yeah.
the utopia.
Yeah.
How does that jive with the nickel and
His
dime?
vision.
Nickel and
Yeah,
dime, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I didn't think that was going to happen. I was just curious where the car was going to end up.
Yeah.
And when I went, this is back down to 260 miles of range, not
Yes.
310.
Yeah, I
And
didn't abuse that battery.
yeah, it doesn't show it. They'll show some cars that have full self-driving
Yeah.
back in the day.
Yes.
It would still show that you can buy this car. It's already got it.
Yes.
Which is great. But I went, where's the energy boost on this thing? So,
Yes.
either one or both of us, whoever traded the car in or who's buying it, we might both have gotten a little bit
Yeah.
thrown under the bus on that one.
Right. So I kind of like to see them not be so. I mean, they do a lot of good customer service stuff, but then at the same time, they do some of the most customer hostile, little just nitpickety things I've ever seen, and or they stuff that looks that way. They could just say, hey, we only have a 1 gigabit bus. You can't afford to push that video without crashing the whole car.
Yeah.
Or there's a 2018 Model Y that's got Model 3 that's got the exact same computer as mine. Is what they tell me, except for the liquid cooling, that can show the turn signals when you turn on the turn signals, and it can show the camera on Sentry, whereas mine cannot, despite being the same. And if I turn on the rear view camera, side view camera mode, and then turn the signal on, they don't go away. They just get all blinkety. So you can't tell me that the car can't show the side camera.
When we were I was on one of the shows, was it the last one?
Yeah.
Where I asked you, we were talking about FSD, and you said, where you can report a problem. I went, yeah, I've been reporting,
Yeah.
and you couldn't. And I thought, well, but you used to. And I thought,
Yeah.
and when you watch the video, you could see my brain do a hard fault.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to figure out why. It's like, why do they not care about? Well, yeah, that's true. But they're not
But the
doing anything
situation
for
will still show up.
Casey
Yeah.
to let him report things
Yeah.
because the hardware, the software was so old that they probably didn't want to be bothered with it. But do something for them.
Yeah.
Do something for the customer that made this happen. This road, the part I'm on right now, Casey and people of that era made that possible to be on that road, and Tesla should do something about that.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
2 cents.
We used to not have still didn't have the same thing that you guys have with it was voice. This is why you did it. But there was a camera button for it because they put most of us in basically the insider program.
Mhm.
And so you could push the button, it would capture all the cameras, and capture everything, and they could do with it what they will. And if it was really bad, you could email them, say, hey, I hit the button at this time, and here's why, and they could do stuff with that. But now it's like, if you turn the screen to the full visualization, you lose your thermometer on your screen in front of you, and they removed it from the tall screen already, so you don't know what temperature it is. To say, hey, maybe I should take over for this bridge over high water.
If it's going to freeze.
Yeah, if it might be frozen, I might want to use my experience on it, or maybe I want to know before I park the car if I should have my jacket ready to put on, or ready to take off,
Or how much is cabin overheat gonna cost me?
Right.
What charge am I coming at, and do I need to be wary of that if it can be hot or cold?
Yeah, because I might decide I'm going to stop at the AC charger, the free AC charger, paid AC charger.
Yeah.
But I'd have to put it in park. So what I've done is I've just gone back to the standard view. So I've got a center FSD visualization, and then on the sides I've got the gauges. But it shouldn't have to do that. The thing had 2 temperature displays when I bought it.
Yeah.
And now it has none if I do it the modern way.
Yeah.
And it's not just like, oh, 2 screens versus 1 screen, because I got into a Loner S and Loner X,
Mm-hmm.
and of the Palladium variety, and they both still had the one on the
On the
display
visuals.
with the full visualization.
Oh, wow.
That's an oversight. Did any hear any news on the Roadster Talk out there about it? We know that Elon's late again.
Who were we talking to this
Funny?
morning?
Yeah.
That mentioned that we were talking about, or somebody near us was talking about that. I cannot remember the,
Oh, about how they were hoping to
because
perfect
missing
it.
April 1st,
Yeah, yeah.
and all that, but I can't remember who that.
I suspect that it's a matter of they thought they were done. Elon said it's not cool enough. He pulled a Steve Jobs, said that, throws it in the water, and just bubbles. There's still air in there. Take it out.
Yeah, and I suspect when we watched the review, you know,
Yeah.
the announcement originally, how many years ago, and he said we're getting this performance, these capabilities on the prototype.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, oh wow, so they've probably got the battery situation, because I'm thinking
Yeah.
we know it's going to have a big battery in it, and when I so they've got that, so that's probably the hard part. Now, are they waiting? So my question now is, could they have done that? Really done that at scale?
Scale's the question there.
Yeah,
Even the scale of a Roadster.
And then have they improved the battery technology that maybe that 620-mile estimated highway range is now way better, as long as you don't SpaceX it,
Yeah.
kind of thing. So, you know, there are a lot of questions I just had about, you know, in general, how the development went on that and when it's going, and when's the realistic time frame for
Right.
that being out. I cannot afford it, but I drool over that car to think, oh, I'd love to have one of those. I don't need it. I'd be irresponsible with it, so I know
Right.
better. But I want to see that on the road. I want people to enjoy that car, and I want to enjoy looking at it and seeing what people
Definitely.
do with it.
I was under the impression that it probably wouldn't even get the 500 miles, kind of like we had with the Plaid Plus, but everything else would probably be what they said, and I'd be fine with that. I don't know if I put down $250,000 on it 10 years ago, if I would be happy with that, given they had time to get it right. But like if I was like, oh, that's pretty,
Yeah.
oh, it looks fun, here you go.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would complain about 100 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm thrilled with 300.
Yeah.
You know, I have a trip that I do
mine
time to
can
time,
do 300.
and I need a solid
Yeah.
a solid 250
Yeah.
because there's a charging desert for
Oh,
that whole
yeah.
thing. And so so having 300 miles to me is golden,
Yeah.
and because the supercharger network's everywhere that I'll
I
probably
would,
go.
love 300 miles. Mine couldn't do that new.
Yeah, so I'm happy with it, and I want to go. My other bucket list is drive up to the Pacific Northwest in the car, Grand Canyon, things like that.
Yeah.
And I've been to the other 3 corners in my career, but I haven't been up there, and I want to go.
Yeah. Smoke said sorry to say it's going to be delayed. Oh, absolutely. I felt that.
Yeah.
I like I said, I just hope that they don't pull the Plaid Plus situation they pulled on you on those folks, because it was bad enough with you and your cohort that some people will say, oh, there's a lot of money, blah blah. They can take it, whatever. But on top of whatever you feel about their wanting to get that car and their budget and everything, is that it's been almost 10 years now. They I hope they have like an explanation, like not only did we redo it 2 times, but this is really cool. It's finally dialed in. This is what we were waiting on. We had the dry cathode batteries on both sides, cathode anode, and that's what held us up. Or we needed these coal gas thrusters, but we used them all on the rocket. Or it doesn't even really matter what it is, as long as it's not a fluffery to our face situation, and even if it's just like a mention, that's like it makes sense. That would be fun.
And I think because what we know now is this is kind of the swan song of performance drivers vehicles, that they didn't want to, and they did not want it to. They didn't want to have to iterate variations in the production, which they could do during the normal production,
Yeah.
but they didn't see a Roadster 3 in the future,
Right,
a Roadster 4, and things like that.
Yeah.
So I think they wanted to make it the very best they could make it.
Yeah.
And so it's probably had some feature creep and technical capabilities, battery and motor technology and things creep because, we've got something better. We've improved this to the point where this really does improve the vehicle we want. And it's just been chasing that
Yeah.
that dream.
Yeah.
So my thoughts.
Because they did say it's gonna be the best car ever as far as performance, and so as everybody else keeps getting better, they also have to take that into account. So I'm curious.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, and we'll either be like amazed or like, oh, this is what you said you'd do. You're only late, or we'll be disappointed. But it'll be out, and we'll know. Sounds like a situation with some ladders. Do be careful. Do be careful. I don't know the story, but be careful. And so that was Chattanooga Charge for us. And
Lots of fun.
yeah.
Lots of fun.
Highlanders SNF Slimy was there, and I don't know.
I don't know most people. I don't do social media a lot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. In my case, we were just super late, so didn't have a chance for anybody to introduce themselves as Slimy or a chance to pick the voice out of the crowd. So
I saw lots of people I recognized from YouTube.
Yes.
And it was fun. It was fun, but I'm too shy to approach people a lot of times. So you couldn't tell that by the amount of times I talk. But
and then we found some folks that had some stories to tell.
yeah.
Some people, some of them will evaluate and come back to. Others will, you know, they'll do their thing, and then we will have interactions, and then hopefully they have good luck with what they were talking about.
And I appreciate everybody that participates in sharing on social and YouTube and platform X and whatnot. What they do, the work they do, and because I watch it all.
Yes.
And thoroughly enjoy it. So lots of hard work and lots of great content. So and Brian White's a riot.
Yeah, he is. He totally is.
And informative.
Yeah,
So finding
I enjoy
informative
interacting
like
with
Kacey is, it's always a treat.
Sorry for social media. I'm about to start my news channel title. Little help with friends. I mean, do what's comfortable as far as social. Like we've seen how bad it can be if you get too wrapped up into it. You don't want to get captured and become a different person that your friends don't recognize. Like if you want to be a better version of what you already what they already know of you, that's fine. But you don't want the algorithm to take hold and then just change not just everything that everybody that you know and love knows about you, but you don't want. And I don't think that'll be a problem with you, but in general, and you don't want to end up where it's to the point where even the people that you just kind of had in passing in social are like, oh, I don't know that person. They're different than when I figured out who I like to interact with, and it's just that's something that can happen, and it can happen even if it's your place. We've seen several different social media platforms where the owners have it didn't turn out the way that they thought it was. Like they became captured by the system. Yeah. And we don't like to see that because it's supposed to make our lives better, make it easier to communicate, and then if it just changes you into a different person,
That's right. And a lot of times I am passionate about my time.
Yes.
And so there, I'll watch things kind of in the background.
I like doing that. Yeah.
But I meter my time, my personal time. I have hobbies that I enjoy: music, 3D, computer graphics, things like that, and driving my car.
Oh yes.
And so that's
what you do
that's
all the
very
time.
valuable. Yes, I'm very valuable. I used to tell people that time's my most valuable commodity.
It's time.
Yeah.
Everybody, and none of us have enough of it.
So I meter it out on my terms.
Yeah, I'm hoping that some of these upstart developers will find a way that we can get back the old style of hey, here's the people that I want to interact with, and here's all their stuff that versus here's some strangers that you've never heard before, but we're not going to tell you the stuff that Brian published last week, even though you watch every one of his videos you see all the way through.
I want something that's more if you're going to target it, make it meaningful to me.
Right.
And not hide stuff that would be.
Right.
And not throw stuff to me that I've never been interested in that. I understand, well, it's a new experience, but I don't want every new experience. I already have opinions.
Right.
Things.
Yeah. Like say I interact with somebody on their car content or their solar home built solar, whatever. And then they start doing like, here's my lunch, pictures of my lunch, like they used to do back in the beginning of Twitter. I don't care what they had for lunch unless they made it themselves and I was following them for cooking content or something like that. So I'm fine with a little bit of algorithm for that. Like, just show me the stuff. Like, it does a really good job with like tragedy. Like, hey, somebody had a really bad experience. Um, you should check on them. I do like that they surface that, but also, hey, somebody got a promotion, had a kid. Well, it does okay with had a kid because it's a bunch of pictures.
Yeah.
But if there's somebody who had a kid and doesn't have any pictures, you don't know it until after the kid is like 3 years old. Where'd that person come from? um, but yeah, like that, the stuff that is meaningful that I would want to interact with, or don't push down. Hey, they got a new system, or they used a warranty on the system, or something happened, or whatever the case may be. They would suppress something I'm interested in to show me some other person doing dances, and like I don't typically watch people doing dances, so why did you show this to me instead of something useful? So I'm hoping that some of these new developers are able to fix that. That'd be fun. There says heart and my Dodge minivan, little black kitty cat, and Apple 15. We're gonna give it a shot. Yeah, do it. Just start with what you got, and it'll be a blast. You still okay? Hey, the moderators are here. I'm Otto and Mako. Okay. You want to close this out? Oh, okay. So Moto is being a little shy, so she don't want to close this out. No idea what I was gonna do. What I was doing. Okay. There you go. No idea what I was gonna do or what I was doing when the nuclear submarine. I know I poured my heart into it. I still beyond belief. Yeah, that was a little harder to take to the civilian world. I feel you on that one. You did a pretty good pivot with it. Yeah, so backup Anderson's was lucky. So lucky, yeah. Hey, you had fun out there? You all sweaty? It looks like you were running around. Yeah, look at that smile. Yeah, that's your smile. All right. So with that, Brian White over at Futuraza is going to let us know how it was on the off-roading adventure. He flew in, but he got a chance to ride, maybe even drive, on the off-road course or spot. I don't know.
Yeah.
And he'll let us know how that went on his channel over at Futuraza. And you can catch us on the Tesla Life Show. We've got Express coming up tomorrow, and then we'll be live again on Wednesday. And then we'll see you guys back here again right about the same time next week. So.
And if you ever get a chance to go to any Tesla event,
Yeah, do it.
this is my first time, do it. Please do it. Show some love, support, but you'll get a lot out of it. I did. I thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Definitely. Moto's on the other side of the camera here. She is feeling a little like she doesn't want to be on camera today, and that's fine.
I think I'm taking her spot.
Oh.
I tried to give it up for her, but she might be a little bit too shy. You're welcome to sit here.
It's okay if she doesn't want to. So with that, we will catch you on the flip side, and we will see you guys other venues, and then right back here again next week. It's a wrap, gang. Definitely. Thank you very much, and also thank our channel members, our sponsors. I say sponsors, not like commercial sponsors, but like you guys help take the edge off the pricing of doing trips, doing well, this trip was just kind of by the seat of our pants, but we like the software we do this with every week, the hardware, all that stuff, and so we appreciate it, and see you guys again soon.